The 1970s were no ordinary decade. It was the precise moment when rock stopped being a youth fad and established itself as a universal language. From anthems that inspired revolutions to songs whose lyrics gave us beautiful messages of hope when everything seemed to be falling apart. Today, we are traveling back in time to remember 13 legendary songs that defined the 1970s. And even though radio stations may no longer play them today, forgetting them would be a terrible mistake. Let's begin. Number 13, Venus by Shocking Blue. Shocking Blue was a Dutch band that, under the creative leadership of Robbie van Leeuwen, and with Mariska Veris's unmistakable enigmatic voice, conquered the world with a single song. Released in July 1969, Venus was the first song performed by a Dutch band to reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. But it did not stop there. It also topped the charts in Australia, Canada, France, Italy, Japan, Spain, and Sweden, among many other countries. In total, Venus sold more than 5 million copies worldwide and was covered several times. Perhaps the most famous version is the one by Bananarama, which, remarkably, also reached number 1 on Billboard in 1986.
Yeah, baby, she's got it.
After that overwhelming success, Shocking Blue continued performing and releasing new music, but they were unable to repeat their initial triumph. Worn down by internal tensions and setbacks, the band finally broke up in 1974. The 70s gave us many glorious songs, but if we could sum up the mysterious, youthful spirit of 70s rock, it would be found in Venus, a song that still sounds fresh and raw, and continues to cast its spell on listeners to this day. Number 12, Roadhouse Blues by The Doors. Whenever this song comes on, everything changes. No matter where you are, the place turns into a dusty roadside bar as the gritty, visceral blues rock of The Doors carries us away, and the ghost of the Lizard King appears on stage, surrounded by red neon lights and the wild roar of rock and roll. Recorded at Elektra Studios in Los Angeles, Roadhouse Blues appeared on the album Morrison Hotel. After the orchestral and brass arrangements of The Soft Parade, this album marked The Doors' return to raw blues and an unvarnished, open-road sound. Although the song was not a hit at the time, reaching only number 76 on the Billboard Hot 100, history eventually gave it its due. It became an emblem of rebellion, speed, and life on the road without fear of danger. Today, more than 5 decades later, the opening notes of Robbie Krieger's guitar riff are still enough to make any rock bar erupt. The magic remains alive. And every time the song plays, Jim Morrison breathes among us once again. Number 11, Lola by The Kinks. The Kinks' Lola has one of the catchiest choruses of the decade. In fact, Sir Ray Davies said in interviews that he knew it would be a hit when his 1-year-old daughter began humming the chorus along with him while he practiced it. Released in June 1970, Lola marked the Kinks' triumphant return to the United States after a 5-year ban imposed by the Musicians' Union following their chaotic 1965 tour. Beyond the controversy, however, the song helped them reach a new generation that had not heard them in the 60s and immediately connected with Lola. The single was quickly propelled to number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the UK charts. That distinctive introduction, unlike anything else on the radio, was recorded with a metal resonator guitar that Ray Davies had bought that very morning for just £80. It was an impulsive decision that ultimately defined the song's sonic identity. Brothers Ray and Dave Davies performed together as the Kinks for the final time in 1997, at the very pub where they had first played, during the celebration of Ray's 50th birthday. After selling 50 million records worldwide, the Kinks' influence on music is undeniable, and Lola remains a jewel in their catalog, an irreverent gem and an anthem that captures the essence of British rock, bold, witty, and eternally charming. If these songs shaped your life as deeply as they shaped mine, subscribe to Millennium Rock. Here, we continue reliving together the moments that made classic rock great. Let's keep going. Number 10. Oye Como Va by Santana. Santana had taken the entire world by surprise with their incendiary performance at Woodstock in 1969. Everything was in place for success, and when they released their second album, Abraxas, the world surrendered to Latin rock. Oye Como Va, the album's second single, was not originally a Santana song. It was written by Latin music legend Tito Puente, but Santana completely reinvented it, blending distorted guitar with a Hammond organ and bringing it to a generation that had never experienced the pulse of Latin rhythm before, winning their hearts in the process. Abraxas went straight to number 1 on the Billboard 200, while Oye Como Va reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. The music world was never the same after Santana crossed genres and created an entirely new musical universe. The irresistible combination of percussion, rock drums, and Carlos Santana's fire turned the band into a sensation heard in clubs and bars around the world throughout the 70s. After devoting himself to jazz, experimental music, and spirituality, Santana would shine again in the late 90s with Supernatural, an album that won 9 Grammy Awards and sold more than 30 million copies worldwide. But Oye Como Va was the big bang, the spark that ignited rock's Latin soul. Even today, more than 50 years later, it is a song that gets your feet moving and sets your heart on fire whenever it plays. Number 9. Sweet Jane by The Velvet Underground. Lou Reed, a hero of New York's alternative scene, wrote this song out of obligation, intending to give the record label exactly what it wanted: a hit. The Velvet Underground was one of the most influential bands in rock history, but up to that point, it had never achieved commercial success. And so Sweet Jane was born, with what is probably the catchiest chorus in the band's history. Lou's weary, late-night voice is joined by backing vocals that give the song a different shade, as though the sun had suddenly risen over its dark, melancholy melody. Yet while that light poured from the speakers, things in the studio were very different because the band was on the verge of breaking up. In fact, there are 2 versions of Sweet Jane, one live and one recorded in the studio. Lou Reed left before the recording was finished, and the label decided to shorten the song to make it more radio-friendly. Years later, Lou continued performing the original, complete version in concert. It was his way of reclaiming the song and taking back what had been taken from him. Despite never climbing the charts, Sweet Jane is the bittersweet farewell of a band that spent its entire career pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Time ultimately did it justice, and today, Sweet Jane is far more than a song. It is the echo of an era when honesty mattered more than numbers. Number 8, The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie. For many years, The Man Who Sold the World remained a hidden gem, appreciated only by true Bowie connoisseurs. Bowie never released this 1970 song as a single, and the album of the same name passed almost unnoticed.
I thought you died alone.
Even so, The Man Who Sold the World offered an early glimpse of the artist who, only a couple of years later, would bring Ziggy Stardust to life, both as a memorable song and an alter ego that became a 70s sensation. In fact, the guitar riffs on The Man Who Sold the World were played by Mick Ronson, an essential collaborator in the creation of Ziggy Stardust. David Bowie even considered The Man Who Sold the World, with its phaser-treated vocal and strange, varied instrumentation, better than anything he had done on Ziggy Stardust, as he told Mojo magazine in 2002.
The man who sold the world.
It is hardly surprising that other versions of the song found the success they did. Perhaps the best remembered is Nirvana's rendition, immortalized during the band's 1993 MTV Unplugged performance. Today, The Man Who Sold the World remains exactly that, a hidden gem, a treasure reserved for those willing to look beyond the hits and immerse themselves in the depths of one of the most prolific, eclectic, and visionary artists rock has ever known. Number 7, Working Class Hero by John Lennon. Being the B-side of a single like Imagine did no justice to this deeply emotional song with its unmistakably revolutionary spirit.
Working class hero is something to be.
The recording features only John Lennon's voice and guitar, and it represented his first major step as a solo artist after the Beatles, alongside the Plastic Ono Band. Recorded at EMY Studios, Working Class Hero has minimalist instrumentation, yet it took a long time to record. According to studio tape operator Andy Stevens, Lennon recorded more than 100 vocal takes before finding the right one. In fact, the album version is not a single complete take, but 2 takes edited together.
Class hero is something to be.
As soon as it was released, Working Class Hero caused an uproar. Some criticized John for singing about the working class when they believed he did not know it, while others reported radio stations for the lyrics' blunt and raw content. History, however, vindicated the former Beatle, who regarded it as a song for the revolution, and it became the banner for many struggles over the last 50 years. John Lennon was far more than a musician. He was an idealist who refused to remain silent. And listening to Working Class Hero today reminds us that rebellion can also sound beautiful. Number 6, Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. It takes a singular genius like Robert Plant to turn an almost catastrophic trip to Reykjavik, Iceland, into one of the most powerful songs in rock. Immigrant Song tells epic stories set in a land of ice and snow, involving the Vikings and their Valhalla. The line, "Valhalla, I am coming," refers to the place in Norse mythology where heroes slain in battle are taken. Meanwhile, Jimmy Page, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones unleash a circular riff that resembles a march, driving the song forward at full gallop with a martial pulse. The melodic, echo-drenched, double-tracked cries recur throughout the track, adding even more grandeur to this hypnotic anthem. Although it appeared on Led Zeppelin III, Immigrant Song was also released as a single. reaching number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100. And it opened every concert the band performed between 1970 and 1972. Led Zeppelin forever changed stadium rock. This song is a work in which talent and inspiration met face to face, and the result was pure magic. Number 5. Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Someone told me long ago.
Curiously, Creedence's best-known song has a sorrowful story beneath its upbeat tone and worldwide success. The band was formed by brothers John and Tom Fogerty. John, its principal songwriter and guitarist, wrote Have You Ever Seen the Rain after learning that his brother was leaving the band following 12 years together, just as they stood at the height of their popularity. The line asking whether you have ever seen rain falling on a sunny day represents the bittersweet experience of reaching the top while losing a brother and bandmate along the way.
Have you ever seen the rain?
The catchy rhythm and John Fogerty's raw, anguished voice transformed this universal feeling into an anthem of love and brotherhood. It was born from a dark moment, yet carries a nostalgic cadence that moves between memories of better times and hope for the future. As the lyrics suggest, even when the rain falls, sunny days still lie ahead. The song connected with audiences and reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. Over time, it became the band's signature song and has remained a fixture at every John Fogerty concert, while Have You Ever Seen the Rain surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify in 2023. Because, in the end, Have You Ever Seen the Rain is not only about rain, it is about moving forward even when the sky grows dark, and about those days when loss hurts, but the sun continues to shine.
Down the day.
Now tell me, which of these songs takes you straight back to the days of your youth? Or is there another one missing from this list? Share it in the comments. We are reading them. Number 4. My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. When the Beatles broke up, fans around the world were stunned. It was the end of a collective dream. George Harrison became the first of the Fab Four to release a song that reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 after the band split. Recorded at Abbey Road Studios using much of the same equipment the Beatles had used, the song featured the talented Peter Frampton, who played its brief guitar solo, but, curiously, received no credit on the album. By combining mantras and prayers from several religions, Harrison distilled his vision of spirituality and faith into less than 5 minutes. To George, they were all expressions of the same truth, which is why he blended Hare Krishna with Hallelujah. Beyond the meaning of its lyrics, the melody of My Sweet Lord was so irresistible that it topped the charts on both sides of the Atlantic. Suddenly, the most spiritual, introverted, and quiet Beatle became the first to score a major hit after the band. To this day, George's warm, intimate vocals still sound fresh and organic, while Phil Spector's impeccable production helped turn the song into a timeless success. My Sweet Lord was not merely a hit, it was a prayer transformed into music, the moment when a Beatle found peace and decided to share it with the world. Number 3. Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. Layla is perhaps the most famous song about a love triangle in rock history, involving 2 giants of British music, George Harrison and Eric Clapton, 2 guitarists who moved the world. Harrison was married to Pattie Boyd, then known as Pattie Harrison, but Clapton was hopelessly in love with her. Layla was the song he wrote to declare his love publicly.
Got me on my knees.
Harrison and Boyd eventually separated in 1974, and by 1979, Boyd and Clapton were married. Curiously, George Harrison performed at their wedding alongside his former bandmate Ringo Starr. But Layla is more than a declaration of love. It is a song that captured hearts and became the soundtrack to countless romances,
What do you do when you get lonely?
reaching number 4 on the UK charts and number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. The fierce, unforgettable guitar riff was born by chance. Clapton was on his way to record at Criteria Studios in Miami, where the Allman Brothers were also recording. In fact, the riff came from Allman Brothers leader and guitarist Duane Allman, who played on several tracks from the album and shared a bond of mutual admiration with Clapton. Layla remains one of the greatest successes of Clapton's remarkable career, and decades later, it still carries the same intensity because, no matter how many times you have heard it, when that riff begins, it is impossible not to feel something. Number 2, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath earned its place in music history by creating an entirely new genre, heavy metal. In 1970, no one sounded as crushing, as dense, or as devilishly dark as the band formed by Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Bill Ward, and Geezer Butler. Paranoid was Black Sabbath's second album, but its title track was written as filler because they needed a fast 3-minute song. Tony Iommi came up with the main riff in less than half an hour. Geezer Butler wrote the lyrics on the spot, and Ozzy read them as he sang. They never imagined that the song would climb to number 4 on the UK charts, much less become a fan favorite. Yet the power of those 3 minutes of pure, heavy fury captured every generation that discovered it, and the song remained indispensable at the band's concerts until the very end. Paradoxically, Black Sabbath never had another UK top 10 single, but none was needed. With Paranoid, they had changed the course of music forever. Number 1, Let It Be by the Beatles.
Trouble, Mother Mary comes to me.
The greatest rock band in history was falling apart. Internal and external tensions had opened cracks so deep that the 4 of them could no longer manage the strain. Yet from that chaos emerged this hopeful song, carrying a message to themselves and to the world. Everything is going to be all right.
Let it be.
According to its author, Paul McCartney, Let It Be was inspired by a dream in which his mother, who had died when he was only 14, appeared and told him that everything would be all right, and there was nothing to worry about. That same sense of reassurance, trust in the future, and calm is what Let It Be conveyed to listeners, ultimately carrying the song to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 in Britain. Let It Be begins with only Paul McCartney's voice and piano, then grows toward the end through its instrumental arrangements, backing vocals, and Hammond organ until it becomes a powerful anthem of hope.
Let it be.
By 1970, the Beatles had already separated, and each member was following his own path. But their music continued bringing hearts together in every corner of the world. Let It Be was more than a farewell. It was a message of comfort, faith, and peace, reminding us that even when everything seems to be falling apart, everything is going to be all right. Most surprising of all, many of these gems were born in the same decade that witnessed the rise of one of the greatest sales phenomena in rock history. And I promise you that its story is even more incredible. Click now and join me as we uncover the best-selling rock song of the 1970s. I'll see you there. my fellow rock fan.